on all our social media platforms on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube at Mainland 98.3 FM, on Twitter at Mainland FM. We are the sound of Lagos.
Things seem anxious and uncertain. I understand the hardship you face. I wish there were other ways, but there is not. If there were,
in our quest to bring to the table issue-based conversation around nationhood and development, we have made 4 to 5:30 p.m. Monday to Friday the perfect time to welcome you into the Situation Room as we continue to build the narrative about public service and accountability.
Mr. President, this Senate needs to know. Mr. President, this Senate needs to lend its voice to the plight of these people. Mr. President, there is nowhere I can say it except here. This is why I'm elected. If I cannot say these things on this floor, sir, I better resign and leave.
As elections give the citizens the chance to make their political decisions, constant demand for quality leadership from those they voted into office.
Look at us now, there is nothing, we are starving. Tinubu should please do something.
It's also important to having a Nigeria of everyone's dream. Join 괶ᴜᴜ as it takes to task seasoned analysts, opinion makers, business professionals, and politicians on issues around politics, policies, governance, and leadership every Monday to Friday from 4 to 5:30 p.m. on your super dial, Mainland 98.3 FM. We'll welcome you, roommates, as we discuss the situations.
Oga Police, no worry, I see you. You know you can do the right thing, right? You know you can do without that bribe. You know you don't even have to harass that young man because he is properly dressed. And you think he's a Yahoo boy? You don't even have to assault that citizen whom you have sworn an oath to protect. Yes, we understand that the pay is not good enough to take you home. That you are still wearing a uniform that you bought with your own money 5 years ago. It's no news that the government has not done enough by you. We feel your pain and we wish things could be different as we continue to call on government to wake up to their responsibilities. We want the police to be our friends, just as it is boldly stated across the various police stations nationwide. And from Mainland 98.3 FM, we implore you to do better. We love you and we support you always.
Very good evening to you. Welcome to the Station Room live on Mainland 98.3 FM. In case you're streaming live, you can join us on facebook.com/Mainland 98.3 FM. I'm actually watching, the breaking story right now. I mean, you can imagine or you can guess where that is coming from. The same River State, oil-rich River State, the state that have been in the eye of the storm more often than it usually have been, especially in the last few, months that Governor Fᴜᴜ had been sworn in since May 2023. It's been from one issue to the other. If it is not the State House of Assembly complex being bombed overnight, it is attack on the governor, it is the back and forth over local government election. There's just been one issue to the other. If it is not a 5-man committee, a 5-man House of Assembly led by Right Honorable Edison Ehiei, passing the 800 billion naira 2024 budgets in a house that's supposed to be a 31-man House of Assembly. So the state had been making laws and having legislative responsibilities with a 5-man assembly. Well, the Court of Appeal today held that on the grounds of which the 800 billion naira budget was passed is illegal, and of course it has been taken off. So the court says that the 800 billion naira budget that was passed by the 5-man House of Assembly led by Right Honorable Edison Ehieyi is illegal. Such, it has recognized the 27 other members that have defected to the APC because the Court of Appeal has refused to declare their seat vacant. Well, maybe tomorrow, Friday, we'll have a clearer picture of interpretations to that particular judgment, because it throws the whole conversation the other way around. If the House of Assembly now belongs to the APC, the state local government belongs to the Action People's Party, then the governor remains a member of the People's Democratic Party. Interesting times ahead for Nigerians in Rivers State. Welcome to the Situation. It's the Thursday edition of the show. My name is Ḥkíyọ̀dé. The Court of Appeal in Abuja has affirmed the judgment of the Federal High Court. Hey, interesting times. Mr. Mᴜyíᴡᴜ joins me on the show today. We're going to look at two issues. First off, in every channel of operation, communication is always very important. How messages are passed to the people and how the people receive and interpret these messages is always key to have successful, relationship. And this relationship, the relationship in this case rather, involves the led and the leaders, that's the governed and the government. One of the things that seems to have characterized the administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is the chain of communication from the presidency down to the people. Today it is from 150 something, tomorrow it is 505, tomorrow is this. The NNPC Limited is talking, the federal government is talking, Mr. Bayo Onanuga is speaking, the leadership of NNPC is also speaking. It's just been a whole lot of issues, and Nigerians are asking, which of these information do we exactly hold on to? I was watching a program on national TV this morning, and one of the things that the guest said was the fact that it looks like everyone is in charge of information when it comes to decisions taken at the presidential level, because this person comes to say this person comes to say the other thing. Mr. Mᴜyíᴡᴜ, I would help us understand some of the issues that we have in this administration. Yesterday, the NNPC released a statement in respect to the official rate of the price of PMS, that's the premium motor spirit, the one everybody calls petrol. Well, and you imagine what had led to yesterday night. I actually got a liter of petrol for 1,117, and that's almost 1,200 per liter. We'll look into all of that on the show today. Are we exactly managing the information of the president, or the people saddled with the responsibility of disseminating information to Nigerians, especially explaining certain policies of government? Are they doing it properly? Then secondly, a few weeks ago, we had an appraisal for the cabinet members of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. We looked at the last 1 year. What have they done? I think we still touched it a little last week also. But in all of that, almost like a jinx, nobody's asking question of the scorecard, the performance card of the Minister of Petroleum. We've asked for the Minister of State for Petroleum, Enikin. We've asked for the Minister of Interior. We've asked for Minister of Youth, Minister of Sports, Minister of Science and Tech. We've asked all of this, but nobody's asking the Minister of Petroleum to come give an account of stewardship in the last 1 year. And guess what? The Minister of Petroleum is President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. So we're going to be asking today, or we're going to be having a conversation around it today. Is it time the President hands off the Ministry of Petroleum the responsibility of presiding over a country of this size? Approximately about 220 million people scattered across 774 local government with over 176,000 polling units scattered across 36 states and the FCT. It's a big responsibility. A country that is, been facing issues with economic instability, security challenges, decay in infrastructures, poor educational facilities. The health sector is in a comatose. The president needs to be more focused. Is it time for Nigerians to ask Mr. President to hands off in his responsibility as the Minister of Petroleum, so that someone can be appointed into that portfolio and can know that my job is to face the Ministry of Petroleum so that we don't have the NNPC Limited giving a different price range, and of course Dangote giving a different confirmation as well. It's been a whole lot of issue, and you ask yourself, since the president declared that the subsidy is gone on the 29th of May when it was being sworn in Abuja, it's been a whole lot of issue. The economy is under dear need of some form of stability, and you would expect that at this point, maybe, just maybe, the people should have asked for a state of emergency to be declared to salvage the economy and have an effective turnaround. But guess what? It's been an issue from one issue to the other. And we need to also understand that the Minister of Petroleum, which is President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, should tell us what is going on with the ministry and what is going on with the NNPC Limited. Why do we have long queues? Why do Nigerians have to spend hours on the queue to buy fuel at expensive prices? I told you earlier, I bought a liter for almost 1,200 naira yesterday night. These are the issues that Nigerians are asking questions about. Today, the coordinating minister of the economy would say something different. Tomorrow, it's a different policy from the CBN. Next up, the NNPC Limited is saying something different. Days after, Mr. Bayo Onanuga is coming to say something different. It's just a whole lot. Mr. Miwa Adeyemi, it's good to have you join us on the show today. Mr. Adeyemi is the head of political desk of Guardian newspaper, and you're live on Mainland 98.3 FM. It is the Situation Room. This program comes up on airways every Mondays to Fridays from 4 to 5:30. 90 straight minutes of conversation around leadership, politics, policies, and governance, especially as we continue to ask for dividends of democracy that was promised us. Mr. Miwa, good evening, and thank you for finding time to join us on the show today.
Good evening, ᴏᴜᴜ Akíọdé, and I think all our listeners. I think that we do it together every Thursday. Good evening.
It's an amazing time. It's another Thursday, and the last time you were here, last week Thursday, we were preparing for a local government election that felt like a state governorship election. And that's Rivers State. It was an election that had a lot of intricacies around it, almost similar to what happened in Edo State last month. And of course, there's also Ondo State next month, by the way, the governorship election. The outcome of the election in Rivers had brought in a lot of issues. People had been reportedly killed, public assets, local government secretariats set ablaze, properties worth billions of naira destroyed, taxpayers' monies. It's just been a whole lot of issue for a local government election. So what would you expect in a governorship election in that state? And of course, we all know how about 72 hours to the election, all of the PDP House of chairmanship candidates defected to the Action People's Congress, APP. Action People's Party, which is the party that a lot of people are insinuating that is the proxy party of the governor. But Mr. Miwa, I'm sure you're monitoring the breaking news as we speak. The decision of the Court of Appeal to uphold the decision of the lower court in, striking out the request of the Rivers State House of Assembly to declare the seat of the 27 House of Assembly members invalid. The court has upheld that they've done the right thing within their constitutional right to decamp. It has also upheld the decision of the Federal High Court to set aside the Rivers State 800 billion budget that was passed by 5 members of the Edison Ehiei-led House of Assembly. It's been a potpourri of a lot of things in Rivers State. Talk to us about the fallout of the local government election in Rivers, the destruction of lives and properties, the accusing fingers being pointed by both parties. The FCT minister was on TV day before yesterday. The governor was on TV on Monday. And it's just been a whole lot of issues. How did Rivers State get to this point, Mr. Miwa?
Well, it's quite unfortunate that not only Rivers State, that we are playing this kind of politics in Nigeria, because we thought we should be advancing by the day. But unfortunately, I think we still see our politicians behaving. I think we are still a Fourth Republic. Because remember, I think the collapse of the Fourth Republic, which made the military to come in, suspended the 1963 Constitution just started like a practice that maybe even the federal government was not that interested in. It was just seen as a Ʀᴏᴜᴜ family or home affair that the people who entered the region was resolved. But unfortunately, I think the crisis consumed all of them, even to the death of some of these politicians. In River State, you see the kind of crook politics going on there, especially, I think, when we see what Wike and his estranged godson,
Governor Fᴜʟᴜ.
I think, yes, what they were doing. But let me quickly comment on what's happening in the House of Assembly and the local government election. You know what? There are certain technicalities that people have to understand when they are talking of court. You know, we can talk of morality and emotion in the public like this. But when they get to court, it's another ballgame. I think the court will trust in documents and how the lawyers were able to prove their case, and where they defending the constitution, and it's based on documents. You know what? The APC and PDP is being controlled, I think, whether you like it or not, in River State by Wike. Because the caretaker committee of the party, as at that time, even up to now, they are Wike's loyalists. You put them there, they are cronies. So also the PDP structure. By the time they go to court, the assembly guy, the civil assembly guy, that they come to APC denied in court that they did not deny, they didn't decamp. And by the time the APC, who is going to be the chairman, I think were to go and give evidence. He also said, I think they were not his members, though there were video, you understand? But video recording is not enough to prove a point in the court. So there's nothing document signed, you understand, that they now members of the party. So that again, PDP is going to make a case that they've left our party. They are also weakest people. So they go to court and tell the judge that this guy remains our member, right? And that's why the court was confused, and because of the substantial written evidence before the judge, so he had no choice than to say, well, if they say they are still members of PDP, so be it. That's what I'm saying. And and that's what the appeal court also relied on. But had it been that SPC say yes, they will come to us, and these are documents to back it up, maybe the case would have been different. All PDP said, no, they've left our party, right? So, DK, I think playing this politics knew the importance of hijacking the party structure to at least to advance his personal interest, especially in the tussle for the control of the soul of River State. That is, and then let the matter get to go to Supreme Court. There might not be anything different. So I don't want that one, meaning that the appeal court is now saying, unless the people will say anything otherwise tomorrow, unless they were able to get stay of execution. If they don't get stay of execution, if it's a final judgment on this matter, then Kubara is a us problem. And the problem in the sense that the 27-member House of Assembly have told him initially that he should come and represent that budget. That yes, that what was passed by 5 members probably cannot start.
And the entire process of the passing was done in 24 hours. The governor presented the budget, the House sat on it, and the following day it was passed.
Let it be done in 3 hours. You understand? No, let it be done in 2 hours. You understand? It was only people that can complain about the quality of it. You understand? But constitutionally, I think once they brought it into the assembly and they said they've done what they're supposed to do, you understand? But anybody who has any proof that they didn't do what they're supposed to do, including public hearing and whatever on those kind of things, should raise it, which did not come up until now. So, but the point I'm trying to make is that in an assembly where you're talking of 27 members, one part, and 5 members in another part. So So we know that if we are talking of about 20, with this,
it's 31.
I think, okay, 31. But no, remember one of them.
One of the member is late and they've not done it. Yes.
It's late. Yes, I think so. So there's something like that. So if you have such, do you understand? And they have 5 now. I think saying they are doing something legitimate, but that could have happened temporarily. And the court declared vacant the seat of the 27 members. And as it is now, I'm sure we can somewhere. I think drinking 1945 gin as they used to say. Because when I'm talking of democracy, it's about rule of law. It's about respect and obey the decision of the court. So whether you have a better lawyer than you do, or I could argue my case better than you, but the judgment of the court is what everybody I think should hold on to and respect. So with this one now, I think we are entering another phase into the crisis. Because if the assembly, if the protocol of appeal, I think unless the Supreme Court says
otherwise,
that the 27 member, hopefully, they will be authentic. The any moment from now, you can expect what to imagine in the impeachment process of the governor. But without that one, let's move forward from that one. You mentioned something about local government election. Local government election, at least we knew, I think that the 2 of them, where they belonged. And so it wasn't something new to everybody in Nigeria. And you know that the assembly, they are validating their seats now. They passed a bill and the rule vetoed the governor of extending the tenure of the elected chairman for 6 months, in which the 5-member assembly did not say no, nothing like that. Right. So based on that one, those elected members were removed from office and they were caretaker committee. But but not 2 or 3 weeks that some caretaker committee, that's when we had that historic Supreme Court judgment. And the implementation, the federal government now said, well, it's giving all the state till October to have elected members. Thereafter, into the councils. Thereafter, I think they will start full implementation of the Supreme Court judgment. Now, it's not in the interest of Wike to have that election because of his interest. Right? What's the interest? The interest is that the Wike and the footballers men cannot and should not be allowed to control the assembly. You know that implication, what that means? If you control the assembly,
you can impeach the governor.
If you control the local government, I wanted to say, sorry. If you control the local government, then you control the grassroots.
Sure.
Right. Politics. Then, not only controlling the grassroots politics, you have money. I think so which the local government, I think, will continue to work by and large. With that one, I think footballer will continue to consolidate his power and continue to establish a structure for himself in the grassroots. Because when you have money, there will be privileges, there will be amply for contracts, which have to play the loyalty to him. But it's not the interest of Wike. As Wike didn't want that election to vote. And as he said, Wike and PDP and APC in Rivers State, I don't know how we can the difference between both, because two of them are being controlled by the same master. So if 2 of them are being controlled by the same master, so it means that APC also did not want that local government election to hold. Just to paralyze that local government, discredit Fubara government. So Fubara did everything within his power. Everything humanly possible, which we also, I think, to ensure
that the election goes ahead.
The election, at least the head, that held the election. Fine. After holding the election, we saw, I think, what happened, the burning of the secretariat, which is quite unfortunate. But I think they are seeing the alleged killing of people that we have not seen, because by now, I think to me, I would have loved to see the dead bodies. I don't know, I think they said about 5 people feared death. They said about 3 people feared death. But no matter the number of people that would have said to have died, I think it's unfortunate. It's not nobody should lose his life for any reason, right? We are not in, the country is not at war with anybody. So, with all this shenanigans going on, the Fubara made sure that he conducted the election. And that's another, I'm sure they'll go to court to settle that one. If you ask me, I think as a political analyst, right? And when this matter started, I said I've not seen Fubara winning this case. Because you know what? You fight political power on structure, not on mob action. Let the population about 7 or close to 10 million, thereabouts, or 7 whatever million, in River State support Fubara. When the structure already put in place does not support it, it's still illegal. So now you can now see that the appeal court has validated the seat of 27 members. Where will it go from there? These are his enemies. These people, I think if you allow these people, at least they will impeach him within 24 hours. Yes. That is the truth. They will be impeaching before 24 hours. Now, where will it go from there? So, there could be anarchy. There can be crisis in the state, but it's the position of the court that will still prevail. Because, one, we operate constitutional democracy. And the way we're able to have helped Fubara, I think we're just like a lame dog in this matter. There was a next meeting in which everybody thought they will have used to remove ᴏᴜᴜ called acting chairman and some of the leg, right? But they could not achieve that on that day. And you see what happened. Even when the constitution of the party allowed them to change the member of the ESCO, which were Fubaras already, by the time they changed them to caretaker, even the constitution allowed another state, they allow those ESCO to transmit into caretaker committee pending when the substantial election will hold. But in case of River State, they changed the whole executive because they were lawyers now to Fabura. They changed them to a new sort of caretaker committee lawyer to Wiki. So there was a time until APP issue surfacing. Fubara was party left. He has no party. And as it is now, structurally, he has no party. But he dare not declare for APP. He dare not. APP.
He can't.
He dare not. So in politics, when you want to fight a battle, you have to look at all the gamut of structure. You understand? Okay, where do you have strength? You have to do your SWOT analysis very well. Your strength, your weakness, your opportunity, and threats. You have to do it then to see how you are going. But if you know that you are not mature enough to fight this battle, then you simmer down. Because to me, if you can recall our discussion here, we did say that it was too early for Fubara to start this battery. And then what do we have in mind? Because we know that you need to consolidate on your party, structure of your party. To make sure at least you are strong enough to have your men there. Now you don't have your men there, then and the man controlling those people there is now using it the way he wanted. Because when they are called, they will not call me and you or people following Fubara to come and give evidence. They will not call you. When we go to court and appear, they will call you busybody. That you have no local standard. So it's the party chairman that they will call. And when they call the party chairman, so they said this. APC said they were not our members. PDP said they are still our members. Oh yeah? Who will now tell me who will now come and say they are lying? So that's the problem they have here. But it's not yet Uhuru. The land has not been heard. And but the state will continue to be volatile. And unfortunately, it's the people that will continue to bear the brunt. Because, as I can tell you, there is so serious governance going on in that state for almost 6 months now. The government is fighting the battle to survive. As we know, I think for you to say you are making good policy for your state, certainly it was his best frame of mind. So the old man, the young man has not been best frame of mind. He's fighting a serious political battle. And then when such is happening, my brother, is the people
that will suffer.
I think, and they are suffering now. And that's the truth. Because all the state resources are being deployed to fight this battle. And some people are really feeling fast. So the money that's supposed to go for roads, they're supposed to go for education, the health hospitals is being used. It's being used now, I think, to feed, I think, warlords and political fighters. Do that, because the man has to survive to continue. But it's unfortunate. The point I'm trying to make now is that we're supposed to have gone beyond this stage at the level of our political development in Nigeria. So it's a sad occurrence.
Thank you very much, Mr. Miwa. One unique thing about Rivers State is it is one day one twist, one day one plot, one day one subplot, one day one different storyline. Day before yesterday, I had the chief press secretary to Governor Peter Odili when he was governor. The same man served as the information commissioner to former Governor Celestine Omeyiha. He also served as commissioner for information and housing to Governor Wike's first term. He joined us on the show on Tuesday, and one unique thing he said was that he said politics down southwest here, that we know when to pull back, we know when to stop fighting, we know when to give and take and negotiate in politics. But in Rivers State, he said 247, 365 days they live and breathe politics, and that's exactly why it looks like their politics. Because I asked him a question about succession, that almost every governor that had come to Rivers State from 1999 till now have had issues with their successor and their predecessor. It's been one issue to the other, from Amechi to Omeyiha to Peter Odili, now to Wike to Fubara. Every single person is having one issue or the other that they're dealing with. Interesting times for Rivers State, but it's going to be very funny because as it stands now, the Action People's Party controls the local government. Except the state gets a stay of execution, and I don't even know, because it's a state house of assembly matter. I don't know if it's going to the Supreme Court, but let's even say to get to the Supreme Court, because if you make reference to what happened in Plateau State, the matter ended at the appeal court. If this does not go beyond appeal court, that means that the House of Assembly will be controlled by the APC, the local government will be controlled by the APP, and the governor, as of today, remains in the PDP. Interesting times. Mr. Adeyemi.
Sorry, okay, let's clear it. Those guys said they denied in court of going to APC. They said they are still members of
the PDP.
Yes, they denied it. You understand? They said they were still members of the. You know what? That's why I said the contradiction here that the APC man could not come to court and give evidence that they became to my party. But they said they were not my members. PDP chairman could not come to say, hey, these guys are so. He also said the same thing. That no. I think they are still members of my party. Right. So that was the complication there. And that's the evidence before the court. So what would the court do than to agree to what they said? So if I say I don't know, if I said I never did analysis on your program. And they called you and you say no, Mr. David never did analysis on our program. So they called Oga Fuad. He said we are hearing his voice for the first time. They called Sandra. And she said she's hearing my voice for the first time. She has never seen my face. And I said that I'm not being there. And we don't think the listeners will now come and give evidence that they heard my voice. And the court will have to take their interest. So they are busybodies because they are not interested party in this matter. So that's the problem. So they deny all these things. And evidently the court could not pin them to APC. Apart from video clips where they said they are now in APC. And no issue when I'm talking of all these video whatever now. You know, some people will tell you that it's A1 that was used. Some people will tell you that even their voice will, I think if somebody will work on their voice. Most times courts work on documents they can hold on to. That's the problem. So it's PDP that's controlling, but not PDP lawyer to Fubara, not PDP. Fubara can call his own PDP. Even those who have the opportunity, they will teach him tomorrow. So that's the dilemma. That is the dilemma. It's like in the code now. Right? Yes, the man is doing well to garner support of the people. As you conduct some opinion poll in River State, they will tell you that I think the man has been trying, to do something rightly.
Is it about governance? Is it about governance, Mr. Muyiwa, or it's basically an issue of public sympathy? There are two different things. Very thin line. Is it that you feel the people of Rivers like him because he's performing, or you think it's basically because he's been witch hunted, he's been politically witch hunted, and all of that? There are two different things, Mr. Muyiwa. Two entirely different things.
I know, and I agree with you. But that's why I said that no matter what this man must have achieved, you understand, they are not enough to rescue him from Wike's hand now. Because Wike made sure that he is controlling all the major structures
in the state.
I think all the major stakeholders that the court will want, the institution will want to come and speak. It's controlling them.
Even the two major political parties of the PDP and the APC, Wike has control.
I think we said it here. He's in charge. The APC guys, they are loyalists. Nobody is arguing that one. And so if those guys are his boys, even his boys, they are his boys. So what are we talking about here? So the governor already is in the code that I don't know who will save him. I don't know now. But I think I said it's not over
until it is over. Now, Mr. Muyiwa, let's leave Rivers State. The truth is this: you can spend the entire 2 hours to discuss Rivers, and there's always going to be twists. In fact, you may be discussing the issue now, and something else will pop up. That's how interesting Rivers had been. Almost from 1999 till now, if I'm not mistaken. But let's talk about something else, and this is something that affects you and I, Mr. Muyiwa Adeyemi. you and I had an appraisal of all of the cabinet members of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and one of the things you said in their defense of their performance was that it is one thing to approve their budget, it is another thing for their monies to be released to them. So we shouldn't gauge them based on what they presented, but what was made available to them. However, in all of that conversation, we didn't mention the office of the Minister of Petroleum, which coincidentally happens to be Mr. President. And I want to ask you, we know the responsibility that comes with presiding over a country that is this large, a country that is approximately about 230 million people, scattered across 774 local governments, splitted around over 170,000 polling units amongst 36 states and the FCT. It's a whole lot. A country that is battling with insecurity, infrastructural decay, collapse of public transportation, bad housing scheme, the education is in a bad place, everything seems to be in a comatose. Is it time, Mr. President, hands off that ministry and allow someone that will be dedicated to that responsibility to take over? Or you think the president is doing enough to balance both?
Well, I think to most Nigerians, if we have to conduct any opinion poll, I can assure you that I think a substantial numbers of Nigerians will agree that if you look at any sector that we're having, I think is the worst or greatest of the crisis or problem is in the health sector. And if we are having our major problems from that sector, can we now, at least in all honesty, say whoever in charge, whether it's our president or any other person that is in charge of that sector is doing well? Now, brother, most of the problems Nigeria are talking about, we're talking of the price, I think, which is killing. This is the sector, they told us that they are not subsidizing a dime. Subsidies gone. And we all agreed. We're paying 500 and something. And when Nigeria was saying, you still you guys have a return subsidy, you say nothing like that. Okay. For us as Nigerians, to be now be told that NNPC is now indebted to the tune of almost
6 trillion.
Forever dollars, about something billion dollars. But if you are not, if the go, so you can see the kind of shenanigans and dishonesty. At least that's what use. So that's because the governance have to say it as it is. So if you are borrowing money, and then to execute a particular agenda, and you are telling us you are not borrowing money. So when the thing has accumulated beyond where you can no longer break, now to be telling us that yes, we borrowed money. No, that's it. It's not the best for any government. Take that as point number one. This is the sector that they told us that refineries in place, Port Harcourt will work. And this is, before Buhari left, they said before Buhari administration ended, Buhari will commission. Be as it may, Buhari could not commission. But during the tenure of this present administration, they have told us that they are going to commission this 3 times. It's said by the NPC chairman and the Minister of State for Petroleum, who is just busy fighting wicked battle. That's one thing has been achieved. I'm telling the truth. I'm telling the truth. So the last promise was that by September, the refineries
will come
start
off
working. Yes. And this is October 10. Oh, nobody starts telling us anything. Oh, they are tired of telling lies. Because he's saying this, and nothing is happening. So they've lied so much, they've deceived themselves or Nigerians so much that people they don't know the kind of lie what
to tell us again.
That is not because that's not going to be creative in life. It's not to look stupid to yourself. They seem to have been at least tired of telling lies. I don't know what to say. Because 10 days after, now it's the same sector. Mr. Fᴜᴜᴜ made us to understand that his group sued people maintaining
the Port Harcourt refinery.
People doing cannot say no, they were not the ones doing it. Whereas the minute of the executive council mentioned the name of the contractor. But when they are taking a legal road step, a group of lawyers are ruled them. So they denied. Secondly, people doing turnaround maintenance of Port Harcourt, that's because they are private concern.
They don't have to reveal the date of your delivery.
They cannot talk to those representing the ordinary Nigerians who know the truth. But they are probably concerned with Nigerian money in their pocket. They are private companies entrusted to deliver what should perhaps make life a bit better or comfortable for Nigerians. So with that money in their account, so they refuse to give an explanation to how the money has been spent. So if a minister is in charge of this, and we want to now evaluate such ministry, listen, we are talking of a sector that it took almost a month negotiating with Dangote without any success. We are talking of the ministry that, as we are talking, NNPC is still talking of importing fuel. We are talking of a ministry that up till now, Dangote is still considering importing crude oil. So we will say we should have enough to feed that refinery. We are talking of a sector that we have at least four public refineries that none is working. And the only one by the private individual, at least we could not make a deal that will be beneficial to Nigerians. You cannot subject Nigerians to the vagaries of the international price of dollar. So how will Nigerians be so happy that because if Israeli and Iraq, Israel and Iraq, or the people in the Middle East, in their unending war, continue to fight themselves, then here in Nigeria it must affect the price of bread and kulikuli. So what concerns me with the Hezbollah or the Iranians and the Israelis, these people are well fed. So they can continue to fight if they choose to do that. But why should that affect my brother Malam that is selling pepper at Kotu Junction? Or my brother Ikechukwu that is selling the electrical parts? So why must we affect us? So that is why we expect the government to have look for a way of stabilizing the economy. Let's say you are having a deal with Dangote, you can stabilize your exchange rate with Dangote. Then no matter what at the international market, but we are going to give you crude oil at this amount, and you also will sell at this amount. So that's why we have been insulated with just protecting international oil market. But if we now say that we will continue to buy fuel at 1,200 now. Yesterday I bought at 1,100 in one of these local police stations. 10,000 9 liters. Even the Corolla, the red light.
It didn't come up.
It didn't come. You know, 10,000 9 liters. So the point we are making is that, do remember, okay, that when they are negotiating minimum wage, it was 558 naira per liter. So you negotiate 70,000 as minimum wage. Now that has gone 100%, will the minimum still remain that amount? And so, my brother, if I don't want to go beyond your question. That how do we assess? And then the whoever in charge of the petroleum ministry, you understand? But with this scenario, I've been able to pay. Well, I think if you are all teachers, whether in primary school or secondary or technical university, so I think let's all do the assessment on our own. But whatever you assess, I think I agree with you.
Assess is based on your financial status.
Listen, do you know when I go financial status? People using V8 now, I'm talking about big engines because V8 about 8 cylinders Jeep. Right. You know how much to fuel that your Jeep before your 2 days before. But do you know how much you fuel it now? My brother, nobody want to, no matter if you are a billionaire that you are going out with forget people in government that maybe they are getting fuel free. But anybody that's giving out one that you know that yes, you have a convoy. But that convoy before you are giving them 100,000 to see your convoy and you go to where you are going. But now you're now giving them 5 million. So are you saying that man will not complain? Even if he does not complain, what about the people he set or his family and everybody that are demanding H2K from him? Tell me any Nigerian working class that will tell you he's waking up in the day without receiving WhatsApp message
for help
of urgent 2K. So tell me. So that is the impact we are talking about. But we are saying that we have many professional experts in this country. That the country should engage their services to do it better. America, I was told that the pump price dropped a bit now, this week, in some states in America. But within 2 months, Nigeria, we have increased pump price 3 times. So are you telling me that if Russia, Ukraine, God forbid, we are not praying for that, I think escalated their war, the Israelis and the neighbors gone beyond Gaza's strip and fighting Hezbollah and Iran. And you know what the Israelis said today? They said they were going to hit Iran. They won't know how it will happen. They won't know when it will happen. But they will feel the impact and it will never be the same. That country will never be the same. So Let them, if they hit them, they also retaliate. And all these things will increase the volume of oil being consumed by these evil equipment. And the implication towards this, the industry, the petroleum industry become volatile again, more volatile. So, and they're not telling us that we can go to start buying at 1,500. Yes, let's start buying at 1,500. But are you ready to pay the workers commensurate
to
minimum wage to survive it? That's the problem. So if you are doing, let me know what that's why. No, I said something to you. I said I expect the labor to do what they call wages to index their wages. If you do what we call index now, we'll be tied down to the inflation. So you don't have to go and sit down. Mr. President, if we are giving us 70,000 now based on this, but immediately those conditions are going away from here, right? The salary must continue to be adjusted along that line. So we are saying that if a bag of fries, let's just say, because all of us we have reduced everything to a bag of fries, when they were negotiating that minimum wage, the bag of fries was about 70,000 naira. No, 7,000. I was not being told it's about 100,000 naira now.
And this is just October.
This is just October. So why can't they also wait? Mr. President, this is what you are saying. The bag of rice has become to amount. So all the petroleum debt was 558. So, but immediately it's not going to 1,000. Just adjust. We don't have to sit. Just adjust to commensurate with it. And with that one, many people will not be complaining. But in all this, government, state and federal will be making more money, and the people will now becoming more poorer and poorer and poorer.
Take some reports on the local government election that was conducted on the Plateau yesterday. We have a correspondent that will be joining us live from the state on the turn of 5 o'clock. So we'll continue this conversation next week, Mr. Miwa. Thank you so much for being my guest on the show today. Have a very good evening, sir. All right, thank you. Thank you very much. All right, we're due for break. When we come back on the turn of 5, you stay with us. It's
Mainland 98.3 FM. Don't touch the dial. 98.3 FM. Don't touch the dial.
You're listening to Mainland 98.3 FM. The sound of Lagos.
Are you a whiz with words?
Would you like to become MTN CEO for a day? Here is an opportunity to showcase your skills and win big in the MTN MPOS Spelling Bee competition. That's right, the Spelling Bee competition is back for another edition with a chance for spelling enthusiasts across Nigeria to showcase their skills and win awesome prizes. Wondering what's up for grabs? Look no further. Alongside the grand title of Spelling Bee Champ, there are up to 24 million naira worth of school grants, laptops, and smartphones to be won. That's not all. The top 3 participants get to win cash prizes for their teachers and laptops for their schools. Awesome, right? Wondering how to participate? It is easy. Simply head over to mtn.ng/MPOS to sign up and get the opportunity to win big. Round 1 kicks off from September 9th all through to October 24th, 2024. It promises to be an experience to learn, play, and shine with MTN Mposit's. MTN. What are you waiting for? Can you spell like a pro? Head over there now.
There. Yes, you just won 5,000 naira cash. And you, sitting by the side, there's 1 month Showmax subscription to watch the Premier League waiting for you. You behind. Of course, you're not left out. How does 1,000 naira airtime and 2,000 naira Uber discount sound? All this could come true when you buy the No Unwrap and Win pack. Open it, look for a cube with a 6-digit code on its wrapper. Text the code to 8011 and follow the prompts to stand a chance to win any of these instant prizes. Promo valid from July till December. Terms and conditions apply. Get extra value on the No Unwrap and Win pack. No, eat for good.
You dey find ways to save your data. You go first start out with your apps. Delete apps where you know they use, but other things go still dey. Some apps get data saver modes. Make you activate them to control the data usage. You fit also go your setting, make you off the auto updates them. Then make you also close apps where you know they use to save your data when you know they use your apps. This small change go fit help you save your data well. For more information, make you go your mobile operator website or consumer.ncc.gov.ng for better tips. Make we dey connect and enjoy our data used well. This message they come from the Association of Licensed Telecom Operators, wey join body with the Nigerian Communication Commission.
Chai, my head oh. Oga landlord, why you dey shake like ceiling fan? My village people don come again oh. This one wey your body hot so, you don do test? Yes, see result oh. Oga landlord, no be your village people. Na malaria, you need Luta. Luta na better medicine wey dey knack down malaria. Oya see am, take am. Thank you Oga Luta. I don dey kampe.
Luta, brand of Artemata and Lumefantrine, is another quality product from Hovid, marketed by Pharmatex Nigeria Limited. If symptoms persist after 3 days, see your doctor.
Everybody say thanks, Luta. Malaria's in big trouble.
Are you a whiz with words?
Would you like to become MTN CEO for a day? Here is an opportunity to showcase your skills and win big in the MTN Mposit's Spelling Bee competition. That's right, the Spelling Bee competition is back for another edition with a chance for spelling enthusiasts across Nigeria to showcase their skills and win awesome prizes. Wondering what's up for grabs? Look no further. Alongside the grand title of Spelling Bee Champ, there are up to 24 million naira worth of school grants, laptops, and smartphones to be won. That's not all. The top 3 participants get to win cash prizes for their teachers and laptops for their schools. Awesome, right? Wondering how to participate? It is easy. Simply head over to mtn.ng/Mposit's to sign up and get the opportunity to win big. Round 1 kicks off from September 9th all through to October 24th, 2024. It promises to be an experience to learn, play, and shine with MTN Mposit's. MTN. What are you waiting for? Can you spell like a pro? Head over there now.
There. Yes, you just won 5,000 naira cash. And you, sitting by the side, there's 1 month Showmax subscription to watch the pound sound. All this could come true when you buy the No and a chance to win any of these instant prizes. Promo valid from July till December. Terms and conditions apply. Get extra value on the No Unwrap and Win pack. No, eat for good.
You dey find ways to save your data. You go first start out with your apps. Delete apps where you know they use, but other things go still dey. Some apps get data saver modes, make you activate them to control the data usage. You fit also go your setting, make you off the auto updates them. Then make you also close apps where you know they use to save your data when you know they use your apps. This small change go fit help you save your data well. For more information, make you go your mobile operator website or consumer.ncc.gov.ng for better tips. Make we dey connect and enjoy our data use well. This message they come from the Association of Licensed Telecom Operators, wey join body with the Nigerian Communication Commission.
Chai, my head oh. Oga landlord, why you dey shake like ceiling fan? My village people don come again oh. This one wey your body hot so, you don do test? Yes, see result oh. Oga landlord, no be your village people oh. Na malaria, you need Luta. Luta na better medicine wey dey knack down malaria. Oya see am, take am. Thank you Oga Luta. I don dey kampe.
Luta, brand of Artemata and Lumefantrine, is another quality product from Hovid, marketed by Pharmatex Nigeria Limited. If symptoms persist after 3 days, see your doctor.
Everybody say thanks, Luta. Malaria's in big trouble.
You're listening to Mainland 98.3 FM. The sound of Lagos.
Things seem anxious and uncertain. I understand the hardship you face. I wish there were other ways, but there is not. If there were,
in our quest to bring to the table issue-based conversation around nationhood and development, we have made 4 to 5:30 p.m. Monday to Friday the perfect time to welcome you into the Situation Room as we continue to build the narrative about public service and accountability.
Mr. President, this Senate needs to know. Mr. President, this Senate needs to lend its voice to the plight of these people. Mr. President, there is nowhere I can say it except here. This is why I'm elected. If I cannot say these things on this floor, sir, I better resign and leave.
As elections give the citizens the chance to make their political decisions, constant demand for quality leadership from those they voted into office.
Look at us now, there is nothing, we are starving. Tinubu should please do something.
It's also important to having a Nigeria of everyone's dream. Join ᴏᴜᴜ as it takes to task seasoned analysts, opinion makers, business professionals, and politicians on issues around politics, policies, governance, and leadership every Monday to Friday from 4 to 5:30 p.m. on your super dial Mainland 98.3 FM. We'll welcome you roommates as we discuss the situations.
Thank you very much for still staying with us. By 5:30, we'll get the full bulletin, and by 6 o'clock, I'll come back with my entire sport gang to come take you through the world of sports on Sports Cruise. That'll be from 6 to 7 p.m. But it's good to have you back in the Situation Room. From 4 to 5 p.m., we have Mr. Mᴜyífoso, the chief political editor of Guardian newspaper, join us on the show. And we looked at two things: Rivers State, the developing story. The Court of Appeal, has upheld the judgment of the lower court, invalidating the 800 billion, budget of the state that was approved by the 5-man House of Assembly that is being led by Right Honorable Edison Ehie. A lot of developing stories in Rivers. We're just still talking about the recently concluded local government election in the state. And, the reign of terror that followed. Now this judgment would also look at the very important question: should President Bola Ahmed Tinubu hands off his responsibility as the Minister of Petroleum and face, presiding over the country so that someone else can focus on that particular ministry? Those were two things that we talked about on the show today. I'm seeing all of your comment on Facebook, but of course, it's a season of local government election from Jigawa to Benue to Akwa Ibom, to Rivers State, to Kwara State. There's been local government elections everywhere, and that's obviously as a quick response to the landmark judgment of the Supreme Court insisting that local government must enjoy their own autonomy, so that monies meant for local government will go straight into the account of the local government. Little wonder, all of the governments of every state that were having caretaker committee chairman or transition committee chairman, depending on what you call it, decided to go to the polls. And yesterday it was the turn of Plateau State. I mean, it was an election that I followed very keenly, but of course I have a man that was on the field, moving across all of the 17 local governments, getting reports, setting up a situation, an election monitoring group, just to make sure that the choices of the people of Plateau stands based on that decision yesterday. He's a friend of the house. He's been on the show a couple of times. He is the founder of Youth Initiative Against Violence and Human Rights, YAVA. Mr. Parkin Jacob, good to have you join us in the Situation Room again today.
Thank you, ᴏᴜ, for creating the space for us to discuss also Plateau.
Okay. Interesting times. I'm sure somewhere in your mind, especially at the build up to the election on the Plateau, the old drama that unfolded or is unfolding in Rivers State would be echoing in your mind. Talk to us about the conduct of the local government election in these 17 local government of Plateau State yesterday. The results were coming in as of this morning, but before I came on press, I was reading somewhere, but INEC is still yet to make the final decisions. But from all of the collations that have been monitored, it looks like it's a clean sweep for the PDP. But before we talk about that, let's talk about the conduct of the election, the turnout of the election, and how prepared do you think the people of Plateau were going into that election yesterday?
Okay, thank you very much. The conversation around the elections in Plateau State is like every other conversation around the country, where it is more or less like a winner takes it all kind of a thing. Of course, which has also brought up the conversation around the SEC capable of conducting elections, transparent elections, considering the limitations, not because the SEC do not have the do not have the good intention to do it, but there are some limitations that have actually hindered them. So back to the conversation. Elections have come. They are currently declaring election results for the chairmanship position across the 17 local governments. We saw a couple of innovations were brought into the election. We also saw the fact that there were delays in the release of shortage of materials, delay in the dispatch of these things. So sensitive materials could not really get on ground quite early. But for me, as a person, I feel that the PLASEC had only like 3 months
to prepare for the
election. And for me, I've had a lot of reasons recently to really disagree with His Excellency the Governor of Plateau State. But on this particular one, I feel that for the fact that the man in PLASEC had only 3 months to prepare for this, and this is what we were able to get. We'll be able to assess how prepared and crucial the elections now compared to what we had in the future. So we'll be having in the future that since the position is just for 2 years. So with the lapses we have seen, like the delay in arrivals, even issues around mobilization of security for the elections and all whatnot, we are hopeful that by the next election, if really they are keeping to their words, we should be able to see an improvement in the conduct of this election. That is, if there is no change in how elections are to be conducted constitutionally.
Thank you very much. I mean, you and I know the uniqueness around local government elections generally on the Plateau. I mean, it's a place I was for a while, and that was actually where you and I became really good friends. The build up to that election, there were a lot of conversation, especially from the APC, the opposition, and I monitored issues yesterday as well. Talk to us about the low turnouts that were, reported in some local governments, and is the results you saw from your observation, is that exactly the reflection of the people?
Okay, now this is the conversation here. I'm very mindful of the fact that I don't have to say anything that will truncate the small progress that we're making in our democratic journey. Because whatever we're saying here may impact on our democratic culture as a people, considering the fact that local government elections, people hardly trust SEC to conduct elections. There's more, yes, in as much as we complain a lot about INEC, but I think INEC have earned some credibility compared to what states are able to do. So by and large, yes, there were low turnouts during elections, the local government election conducted yesterday, like it has always been, because even before joining the civil society, I've been an active partaker in understanding the election, the culture of people around elections and all whatnot. And I can tell you that it has always been a low turnout kind of a thing. So you cannot compare the enthusiasm of voters during general elections and during this local government election. Now, for the fact that this election, the plastic had a software, more or less like a software that they developed for the accreditation of voters. But this thing failed. Like, I can tell you that it's like 90% failed. That's why the fact that they said, okay, they developed, they tested it at the certain election, at the trial election, which for them they said it worked. But on election day, it actually failed. So we can tell you that 90% of elections yesterday were conducted through manual accreditation. So it means that the election yesterday took us to all those years that we have struggled with INEC to
move away from.
How do we computerize? How do we improve on our electoral process? So we are, because of the rigging that comes with manual accreditation of voters. So for the fact that the voters were accredited manually, it also shows to a very large extent that anything could have happened to the process. So for us, for me, as I'm talking now, is to see if SEC should continue to conduct elections, which I doubt much. We think we need to see a very strong synergy between INEC and those SEC, so that whatever materials that INEC has beyond just giving a voters register, they are able to share logistical experience and whatever with the SEC, because they are all about the stability of our democratic culture. So whether it is SEC or it is INEC, we believe that it's about the wishes of the people coming into play.
So now, if you're familiar with the politics of Ekiti State, I think that is where it became very famous, 24-0, when the former governor, Ayodele Fayose, conducted local government election in the state, and then his party, the APC, cleared all of the local governments. It looks like it is 17-0 on the plateau. It looks like, the green revolution, according to the mantra of the executive governor of the state, touched all of the local government. I was particularly interested in some local government. For instance, local government like Jos South, that is the seat of power of the state, Jos North, and by the way, the two people that have been declared in those states are actually our friends, JK Chris and Silas. But I was also looking at Panshi Kanke Kanam, of course, the reps district of our friend, Honorable Yusuf Gagdi. But it looks like it's a clean sweep for the PDP. Is this a reflection of how well the governor is performing, or you think it's just the regular conversation of winner takes all?
Okay, this is the conversation here, because even yesterday while we were monitoring the elections via our situation room, there were this conversation around the PDP people felt the APC did it. They had a clean sweep. You call it 17-0. So they feel that there is going to be 17-0 again in this election. So a lot of gimmicks were said to be played. And again, like I said during a couple of media engagements, until when these issues are taken to the tribunal, and tribunals uphold all elections, then we will then say that INEC was transparent, Plastic was transparent, credible, and conducted a fair election. But if in the course of it all, we see that there is an upturn of a couple of seats of whether chairman or councillors, then we would then say that a lot of things were actually wrong with the conduct of the election. Now, let's put it this way. Plateau people, citizens who came out to vote, were just, because they have normalized the fact that a sitting governor must produce all the chairman of the 17 local governments. And even when they go out to vote, they have this mindset that whether we vote or not, it is still going to be rigged. So because of that mindset, it made a lot of people to even say, even if the election is not rigged, they will say, oh, they rigged it. Now, where the controversy is now currently is the composition of councillors. Now, because while they said that there is imposition at the chairmanship level, the people at the local level, so you get to see an electoral ward that has just 33 polling units. So you are able to monitor all these polling units. Now, whatever that the governor, the then governor, Lalonde did during his time, cannot be done at this point in time, simply because the citizens are more enlightened, are more agitated, are more concerned about democracy than how it was. So even if they are going to rig this election, they must do it strategically in such a way that it will raise a lot of eyebrows. And that is why I can tell you that the Plastic itself tried to see, okay, how do we bring in some innovation into this and all whatnot, so that even if we rig this election, people feel as if, oh, we were transparent enough. So it's not just the issue of justice served, there's justice seen to be served. So there is the possibility that the people of Plateau State voted for the 17 local governments. But again, the query is the concerns that are being raised at the councillorship level. Because just this morning, they call me at different levels that, oh, they want to thwart our councillorship election results because our candidate won, this candidate won, and these are the evidences here. But the local politicians are trying to sway the votes of the people to the ruling party. And these are the things that may likely cause problems for not just within the peace of the security of the state, but also the democratic journey of Mutfwang himself. Because while we're having this conversation, we are now looking at, okay, by 2027, what is the acceptability of Governor Mutfwang? Can he win the elections moving forward? Because there are a lot of things that are currently counting against him. You know, let me say this very strongly. We have this young man that His Excellency, that because he made a comment about non-performance of the governor and the guy was detained for like 2 weeks. Or not until when we started shouting about no, the right of the person, and they then arraigned him, and about 10 the Attorney General came for the prosecution of a careless social media user. Where there are people that have killed Plateau people in different villages that they have not done this prosecution. So it's not the people of Plateau State, and even myself personally, I'm asking other activists that what is the interest of government? So moving into 2027, a lot of things are counting against the governor, and we feel that the governor should be able to manage a perception of people and be more transparent and accountable to the people.
Thank you very much, Mr. Parkham. I reached out to you. You responded as usual. Thank you. I will keep in touch, and I'm sure, I would also monitor development in respect to the election. But once again, congratulations for the peaceful conduct of the election, which is really important as against what we saw in a few other states. It looks like these people of Plateau have spoken, and of course, let development, continue in that state. Stay safe, and thank you very much. And my regards to everyone. And big shout out to you again for what you're doing with Yava, and I'm super proud of you.
Thank you very much, Ogbemi.
Thank you.
So proud of you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Interesting. I mean, there's always a twist that follows every local government election, whether for the right or for the wrong reasons. Time will tell. I mean, the reason why we have all of these local government elections, even states that have not conducted elections in 8 years, 10 years, everybody's putting up polls just because of the Supreme Court judgment. But guess what? A State House of Assembly had passed a law to override the Supreme Court judgment in terms of local government autonomy. That should be Anambra State. The state of Professor Charles Chukwuma Soludo. I will talk about that on the show tomorrow. Apologies for not being able to get your feedback. It was a very engaging conversation with Mr. Miwa from 4 to 5 p.m. and Mr. Pᴜᴜᴜ Choji giving us updates on the peaceful election, you must say, that was conducted on the plateau yesterday. And like I said, it's a clean sweep for the People's Democratic Party in the state. Keep it locked on Mainland 98.3 FM 5:30. The full news would come through, and by 6 o'clock, I would come back with my entire gang to take you through the world of sports on Sports Cruise at the Thursday edition. We count down to the Super Eagles of Nigeria's all-important qualifier against Libya. So we'll give you all of that and more by 6 p.m. today. Stay with us. My name is 광ᴜᴜ Akínyẹ̀dé. The program we just listened to was Situation Room. Join us tomorrow, 4 to 5:30, same station. Stay safe and enjoy the rest of your evening. I'll be back by 6.